Not too long ago, I made a video on some nostalgic Thomas the Tank Engine videos from the good old days of YouTube. To cut the intro short, I'm the Winnipeg Railfan, and in this video, we're going to take a look at some more nostalgic Thomas and Friends YouTube videos. Now I generalized this section as Thomas Toys to include videos of collections, short stories, and long-running series made with Thomas merchandise like wooden railway models, Tomy Trackmaster sets, and things like that. This first one, by Lively Jason from March 2007, was one short story I vividly remember watching. It was of Thomas, Percy, Toby, and Duncan going on some little adventure. You know, picking blueberries, going over a bridge. And like I said a lot in the last video, the production quality for a little short story made for Lively Jason's nephew is really good. The green screen here was done pretty well too. This video as of now has around 17 million views. I liked watching Thomas toy collections as a kid to see what kind of toys I could maybe get one day for a birthday or for Christmas. Did I? No. Well, barely. But either way, it was still cool to see what was out there. Well, I really didn't write anything for this segment, did I? Now, this series of short stories by the channel Trains, I could have sworn this channel was named something else back then. Comment if you remember, because I sure don't. Anyways, this series is similar to the first short story, seeing as that they were both made with wooden railway series toys. These were pretty well made for stuff that is 13-ish years old now. There are videos on this channel of the same vein as these narrated stories, most likely from when the kid narrating was a lot younger though. I feel like I remember watching the channel's first video, Thomas Wants to Pull the Christmas Tree, from like 16 years ago now. As a kid, I always wanted those little motorized wooden railway engines. I thought the fact that they could move on their own and I could just sit back and watch them go by like a real train was so cool. I'm not sure what happened to this channel. The last upload was Percy and Nicole on August 3rd, 2013. 10 years ago now. The description of the last video is oddly vague for some reason. It reads, Percy is running out of steam, ... find out why. And that's it. I wonder if this guy just lost interest in Thomas or trains in general at the time, and then just quit the channel like someone else I'll mention at the end of the video. The most viewed story is Gordon and the Snowstorm at 31 million views. Miss Oliver and Blossom was one of my favorite channels as a kid. I used to binge watch his TNF episodes way too often. The audio sounded like it was recorded during a phone call on a flip phone, but don't take that the wrong way, I still love these videos. The humor and editing definitely made up for it. This series started on April 2nd, 2007 with the prologue episode, followed by the first episode, The Red Wonder, on April 8th. It seems like there's 14 TNF episodes, including a few two-part ones and a couple specials. The characters were Moab's collection of Bachmann Thomas H.O. scale models, like of course Thomas, Percy, James, Gordon, and Emily. My favorite character, however, was an OC named Nigel, a green Burlington Northern switcher engine. I actually found a model similar to Nigel at a hobby shop back in 2013. I really can't remember who made the models, but I found them pretty cool. The last video that sorta resembled a TNF episode was the Halloween special from 2009. After that, there was the 100th videoversary, which was, well, definitely a video.
What the hell was that about? James, could you keep it down? I'm kinda busy over here. Yeah, sure, whatever.
And then after that, that was kinda it. There was a series of reviews of season 16 of Thomas and Friends, and then some abridged commentary of TNF episodes, and then some really devastating news. Moab, or Will's mother, had actually passed away after a lengthy battle with cancer. To quote his final update on that channel, he had to move on. Literally. He had to move from where he lived while making the series and had to let go of the whole set. The models were apparently donated to the Thomas Creators Collective to be used in videos on the official Thomas and Friends YouTube channel, through other users Moab had gotten to know through his time in the community. Now, to end this on a lighter note, he was active just recently, as in around a year ago now, on a new channel, The Wilstonator, where he'd upload My Little Pony related content. I mean, the channel isn't like brand new, being active since August 2012, but it's still good to see that he's doing alright these days. Now, I don't think you'd count these as fan-made, but I grew up watching old, re-uploaded spoofs from TV shows of Thomas the Tank Engine. Here's a few of my favorites. First up is Ernest the Engine and Others. It was featured from May to October of 2005 on the Australian sketch comedy show Comedy Inc. It consisted of Ernest, a parody of Thomas, Stevie the Steam Train, a parody of Percy, I guess, and Gail the Guards Compartment, a parody of Emily most likely. It centers around the engines having discussion about real life stuff, most of the time crude adult stuff like drugs, busting nuts, and Nazis?
Nazi, said Ernest. What? Said Stevie. I know your little secret, said Ernest.
Stevie was definitely the funniest character, who would, quote, stutter at the most inappropriate of moments.
The fat controller, said Ernest. What's the fat controller complaining about this time? Asked Stevie, who stuttered badly at the most inappropriate of moments.
Next up is one just called Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends from another Aussie sketch comedy show, Fast Forward. Came out during the show's third season in 1991. Funny enough, season 3 of Thomas and Friends was just starting around the same time these skits were aired. It consisted of Thomas, Percy, renamed Bertie, the Fat Controller, Crazy Bartholomew the Loco Locomotive, and some other DeviantArt OC recolor engines. This one had skits in the same vein as Ernest the Engine, but with Thomas. For a series made back in 91, the production quality was pretty good, especially the pyrotechnics in this one episode. This little skit from the British TV show Spitting Image was probably one of, if not the first, public Thomas spoof ever. It was aired in 1988 as more of a poke at Ringo Starr, the narrator for the early seasons of Thomas, and of course, the drummer for the Beatles. There really isn't much to say about it, to be honest. It's only like 15 seconds at the most.
Thomas was a tank engine with a big red nose. One night he got a little bit overstoked. Suddenly, Gordon the big engine appeared and towed Thomas off to the drying out shed. You're a very naughty engine. No more drink for you from now on, blah blah, sang Thomas, and he went completely off the rails.
Grant Thomas the Tank Engine is a parody from an Australian sports variety show, The Footy Show, I think that's how you pronounce it, from the late 2000s as a parody of Thomas and an Australian football player and coach, Grant Thomas. Yeah, sorry, I have no idea who these are. I was mostly watching as a kid because haha, Thomas go brr. Blow Some Steam is a 2012 Robot Chicken parody of Thomas starring Thomas, Percy, James, and Molly. I think that's her name, right? I vividly remember during gym class, me and my friends were running around doing some exercises, and I told my friends to pump those pistons, you steam-powered son of a bitch.
End of the line, fuckhead.
Thank you, everyone. Knapford Station is safe.
You're quite welcome, Mayor.
And how did you dispose of the dynamite?
Thomas the Tanked Up Engine was another one of my favorite parodies on Thomas. There really isn't that much info available on it. According to the Thomas Parodies wiki, it came out sometime after the Spitting Image skit and before Fast Forward. So I'm thinking maybe 1989 to 1990 or sometime around then. It was featured on a show hosted by English comedian Bobby Davro. Story goes like this. Thomas is drunk. The end. I remember watching this all the time in like 2011, 2012. I don't know why though. I really wasn't old enough or British enough to understand what the narrator is saying half the time. Otherwise, production is pretty similar to the 1991 Fast Forward sketches, except using Hornby models for Thomas, Percy, Gordon, and James, or Jeremy, as well as Annie and Clarabelle. Sonic, Minecraft, and stuff like that. And of course, the movie Unstoppable. GWR Studios was one of my favorite YouTube channels in more recent times, like around 2016, 2017-ish. He's most known for his series on bloopers and hidden goof-ups in older Thomas and Friends episodes. His second most popular video, Goofs in the 2007 movie Polar Express with 13 million views as of now, would be his last upload ever. Sometime around this upload, the channel description was changed from something elaborate that I can't really remember to just a simple hello, welcome to my channel. I'm sure most people who were fans of this channel were a little concerned at the least about what happened to the guy behind the channel. Did he just quit? Or was it something even worse? Nobody really knew, nobody could really figure it out. Until recently, that is. In 2017, when videos were still being uploaded to the GWR Studios channel, a channel by the name of Neo Auto uploaded its first video. Take a listen to the narrator in the Neo video.
So to begin, let's start by looking at the exterior of the trucks. Both the Comanche and the new Gladiator have all the classic styling cues that Jeep is known for.
And then listen to a clip from GWR.
Hey everyone, this is GWR Studios, and for today's video, I'm going to be looking for some goofs in the Runaway. So let's get started.
Ah, you see? And there's no denying that the guy from the Christmas 2016 livestream on GWR is clearly the same presenter for Neo Auto. GWR would upload throughout 2017 alongside Neo, but Neo continued on into 2018 and beyond. Neo Auto really isn't that active online, it seems, excluding the fact that the last video was uploaded half a year ago at this point. In fact, I checked Instagram and can't find his account anymore. I think it's safe to say that most fans know it's the same guy at this point. To this day, his automotive channel gets comments asking for the next Goofs and Thomas video, or to look out for the train, or something like that. It kinda sucks that we won't know why exactly he just up and left his channel. It clearly isn't because of lack of viewership. His least viewed video has over 60,000 views, and the more recent Thomas ones were easily cracking 1 million or more views. In fact, the GWR Studios channel has roughly 162,000 more subscribers than Neo Auto. The reason must be a lot more complex and most likely personal. It's great to see that the whole channel is still public for all the people who grew up watching these videos and even more people nowadays to enjoy. And of course, the same can be said for the rest of the nostalgic Thomas the Tank Engine videos here on YouTube. Hey everyone, this is the Winnipeg Railfan, and I'd just like to say thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Also, hey, I know I usually don't preach about how I create videos solely for views and likes, but nowadays with shorts killing long-form content, especially with smaller channels like mine, likes and just watches in general are greatly appreciated. It really helps out. As always, feel free to subscribe for more mediocre train content coming your way in the future, I guess. I never know when. This is the Winnipeg Railfan saying, look out for the train.